We are back on the 700 Club Asia, and we have here with us Attorney Jemay Gatdula of the University of Asia and Pacific Schools of Law and Governance. Welcome to the show, Attorney Jemay.
Thank you, Peter, and sa lahat ng mga nanonood, welcome.
Salamat po. Attorney Jemay, ang US Supreme Court, they legalized the other week same-sex marriage in all 50 states. Anong klaseng impact para magkaroon yun dito sa Pilipinas?
Ang impact kasi is yung relationship natin with the United States. Legally, wala naman talagang connection kung ano ba yung ruling nila. Independent naman yung Pilipinas eh. Pero we have a tendency kasi to be influenced kung ano may iniisip ng mga Amerikano. So the possibility na yung Kongreso natin at saka even yung Korte Suprema natin eh magkaroon ng idea at kahit yung mga ating mga citizens nakakaisip din ng idea or inspirasyon kung ano ba nangyari sa Amerika, pwede rin gayahin dito.
Okay, so if a bill is filed in legislature so for same-sex marriage, do you see that getting passed as a law here in our country?
Sana hindi, pero hindi mo alam sa panahon ngayon eh. Sabihin ko sa iyo, nung 2012 sa Amerika, siguro mga siyam or mga 12 lang siguro mga states. Tandaan natin na Amerika kasi is composed of 50 states. So there are around 12 states sa US na actually only had same-sex marriage. So in a matter of 4 or 5 years, biglang na-overturn yun. All 50 states now have. So this is actually ang bilis ng development, and although pwede nating masabi na itong development ito ilang dekada rin pinagplanuhan ng mga LGBT advocates, pero yung speed ng developments from 2012 to 2015 is kahit isang bagay na nakakatakot at hindi natin pwedeng sabihin na hindi pwedeng mangyari dito.
Okay, but for example, would there be would that magkakaroon ng complication yan sa ating constitution?
Ang nangyari sa Amerika kasi is that may marami mga states, mga little states doon, na gumawa ng plebisito o referendum. Karamihan ng mga nagboto, sinabi, and I would say 31 states yata, nagboto na sinasabi na ang gusto nila, pag may marriage, it should be between a man and a woman. So, i-total natin yung mga bumoto, sinasabi natin siguro mga 50 million Americans to, which is a high figure considering ang voter turnout ng Amerika is only 40%. Ang nangyari is that despite the will ng American people na ang marriage is dapat between a man and a woman, may nag-appeal, si Obergefell nga, isa na ron, inakyat siya sa Korte Suprema at sinabi ng Korte Suprema, with a vote of 5-4, hindi constitutional yung plebisito na mga nangyari at in-overturn lahat yung aksyones ng mga states. So, ang effect essentially is this. You have 5 Supreme Court justices, ino-overturn yung popular or sovereign will ng 50 million Americans. Can that happen here in the Philippines? Posible. Lalong-lalo na kunyari, gumawa tayo ng batas, and we do have a batas right now na ganon, yung family code, na sinasabi ang marriage is between a man and a woman. Kung susundin natin yung logic ng Obergefell, may isang tao rito sa Pilipinas na pwede mag-petition sa Korte Suprema na ang sasabihin na yung family code natin ay illegal dahil nagva-violate daw siya ng Bill of Rights, which is the same argument sa Obergefell. And now, may opportunity yung Korte Suprema natin by a sheer vote majority na you-overturn yung ilang centuries nating tradition of marriage between a man and a woman. And tandaan natin, ang Korte Suprema natin is 15 members. But through a weird calculation kasi sa Constitution natin, ang kailangan lang na quorum for a decision is 8. Ang majority ng 8 is 5. So it's possible that you have Filipinos all thinking na dapat kailangan man and a woman yung marriage, then you would have 5 Supreme Court justices saying that perhaps na dapat nga i-consider unconstitutional and pwede rin maging equal yung marriage between same-sex at saka yung heterosexual marriages.
Ngayon, if this is passed, it will go against our family code.
Kasi the thing here is that yung family code kasi naman is a creation of Congress, which means that if it's a creation of Congress, pwede rin siyang ibuwag ng Congress. Now, pero ang tandaan natin, isang malaking distinction between the American Constitution and the Philippine Constitution. And that is yung American Constitution is silent on marriage. As in, it absolutely hindi niya binanggit ang word marriage whatsoever. And that is why dapat nga nasa desisyon na mismo ng Kongreso o ng tao kung anong gagawin nila tungkol sa marriage. Ang Constitution natin binanggit yung marriage, and it mentions it in the context of an inviolable institution, in the context of children, and in the context of family. So kung magpipipetisyon man na sasabihin na dapat nga marriage is between perhaps gay couples, ang paniniwala ko ang tamang desisyon na pwedeng gawin ng Korte Suprema natin at ang ating Kongreso kung sakali may lumapit nga sa kanila na gumawa ng bagong batas, dapat ilagay sa confines ng belief, ng wording, ng philosophy ng ating constitution na family-oriented, and i-maintain yung definition natin ng marriage as between a man and a woman. But can I add, Peter, lang, tandaan natin na hindi bawal sa Pilipinas na magsama ang isang gay couple. Kumbaga, wala tayong discrimination against...
Can you classify that? What do you mean hindi bawal?
Like, if you have a gay
couple... You're talking about the human rights, in the individual rights.
I mean, you take a gay couple at gusto nilang magsama sa isang bahay, wala tayong batas na nagkikriminalize against it.
Okay.
And I will go one step further. You take a gay couple, they want to hire let's say they find a religion or church na nag-aalaw ng marriage between them. They can also do that. Nobody's stopping it. There's no criminal law dito sa bansa natin. We've seen Isa Sigera do that.
Okay, there's no criminal law, but can they get a marriage license?
That's the thing. Ang pinag-uusapan actually is yung government recognition ng gay marriage.
Which hindi.
Which we
no
don't
such
have.
thing now. Yeah.
But now, ang tanong is, bakit kailangan pumasok ang gobyerno sa relasyon ng dalawang tao? Kaya ang marriage is defined between a man and a woman is because may interest yung Estado And ang interest ng Estado hindi yung sa pagmamahalan ng dalawang tao na yan. Ang interest niya is, itong pagmamahalan na to baka mag-produce ng kabataan. And itong kabataan na to kailangan protektahan kasi sila yung magiging citizens din eventually ng ating bayan. Kung meron kang dalawang tao nagmamahalan, anong pakialam ng Estado doon? Wala siyang, kung gusto nilang magkaroon ng mga property relationships and what have you, meron na tayong kontrata, pero yung wills, pwede silang gumawa, and all the other government regulations. But precisely for that romantic relationship, the state has no interest whatsoever. The only reason why ang Estado is pumapasok in the first place is para nga alagaan ang ating kabataan na nagiging ng fruit ng kasal.
Oo nga, pero so in this case, walang fruit.
Because
paano magkakaroon ng fruit?
Precisely, that is the and yun nga
So following that thought, Attorney Gemay, hindi yan i-issue ng license kasi kung yan ang basis nila
hindi dapat. Yun nga nakakalungkot doon sa desisyon sa Korte Suprema ng Amerika is because hindi nila in-ignore nila or ni-refuse nilang makita yung distinction between yung traditional definition of marriage at saka yung redefinition na sinasabi nila. Parang pinalabas nila na halos walang pagkakaiba yung dalawa. But alam naman natin na may pagkakaiba And itong definition of marriage na to, tandaan natin, is not, of course, we're all Christians here. So sinasabi nila kasi, don't impose your Christian values. But Muslims have the same definition of marriage. It's always been between a man and a woman. Sasabihin naman nila, well, because it's a religious definition pala. But no, you take atheist countries like China, Japan, Russia, Cuba, North Korea. All of these countries are not religious, but they have the same definition of marriage, which is that you protect it between a man and a woman.
If you were a Supreme Court justice and you were asked, let's say, outside the courtroom, what would your take be on this? Should we change the family code? No. Should we become fashionable for the sake of, so that we don't offend, anyone in society?
And that's a good word yung ginamit mo, which is fashionable. Because dapat palagi tayo nag-iisip, hindi yung kung yung momentary na kasiyahan na makikita natin, pero yung decades hence, later na makikita natin yung mga kabataan na ko-confuse. Bakit ganito ang ibig sabihin ng marriage? Bakit ngayon ang ibig sabihin na pala, dati importante ang tatay at nanay, ngayon sinasabi na hindi na pala importante yun.
Kaya nga. Yeah.
So, ang aking masasabi is, ang best way siguro right now, nakikita natin na iba ng environment ngayon, medyo liberal ang environment, tinatawag nilang progressive. And so, I would say sa viewers natin ngayon, marami tayong magagawa. Pwede natin kausapin yung ating mga kongreso, pwede natin kausapin yung mga abogado na protektahan ng ating mga civil rights at saka yung ating paniniwala, ating pananampalataya. Pero also, ang isang pinakamagandang gawin natin is balik tayo sa ating mga pamilya, ipakita natin na ang traditional marriage, traditional family, isa pa rin na pinakamasaya at pinakamagbubungang paraan para sa ikabubuhay ng ating isa't isa. Yun lang yung paraan para i-serve natin na ehemplo na hindi yung sinasabi ng kasiyahan ay hindi makakatulad sa kasiyahan ng pag-live out ng ating faith.
Amen. Amen. Attorney Gemay, thank you so much for your time and God bless you, sir. I love what you said.